Hello guys, so this is my vlog from Vienna and I'm with Rainer. Rainer, is it hello?
That's right.
And
hello.
Rainer is an experienced tour guide and we just did a tour with him. And I got some spontaneous questions for you, Rainer. So shall we
Right.
walk and then we can, let's do this.
Let's do the walk and talk.
So,
Yeah.
Rainer,
Sure.
why should people come to Vienna?
Because it's a great, great city and it's totally underrated. Everybody goes to Paris, to London, to New York. The beaten tracks, I would say. I mean, those places are nice.
Yeah,
But what they don't know is that Vienna is a hidden gem
yeah.
where it waits for discovery. So there's a number of good reasons to come to Vienna, yeah.
Amazing. Yes, yeah. So, what are the top 5 most attractions here in Vienna for people coming first time? I know there are loads of them, but what's the
Yeah.
top 5?
You mean sites?
Sites,
What
yeah.
are the sites?
The historic sites, I would
I mean,
say.
first of all, I would say the city center of Vienna, which is the inner city, because it's a UNESCO World Heritage Site.
Yes.
So you join a tour.
Is it where
you
we are
walk
now,
through,
yeah?
That's where we are now.
Yes.
The cathedral, the Habsburg Palace, and so on. The second one would be probably Schönbrunn. Schönbrunn probably deserves at least second spot because it's also a World Heritage Site protected by UNESCO.
Yeah.
And then there's lots of palaces, such
Yeah.
as the Belvedere Palace, for example. There's beautiful churches like this one here, which is the St. Stephen's Cathedral,
Yes.
or Charles Borromeo Church.
Yeah.
There's a rich cultural heritage here. And then there's the food scene, of course. You have tons of good restaurants
Yeah.
with Austrian food. And then there's everyday life. You get into the nitty-gritty of the Vienna coffee house tradition, for example.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden you discover everything which stands for Vienna.
Yeah.
Let's put it this way.
That's what it is, yeah. What makes this city? Is it multicultural or is it any specific nationality people just live here, or is it very multicultural, you would say?
It is two things, I would say. The first thing is it's a very attractive city to live in, because after all, Vienna is regularly rated the most attractive city in the world.
Yeah.
That means it's a very nice mix of quality of life, of time people take, of an excellent standard of public transportation, of medical services, of public administration, everything that you need, basically. And it is not too big, it is not too small, it is not huge like Moscow, like Istanbul, like those cities, but it offers everything that you want.
Yeah.
So it's a very pleasant city to live in,
Yeah.
and it becomes more and more popular each and every year. You can tell by the number of visitors.
Yes.
And it has also, you put it very right, it has also become a very international city
International
again.
city, so people
it
come
was a very multicultural city back in the days of the Habsburgs,
Yeah.
back in the days of the monarchy. And it becomes so, again, I would say, even more so. And you have the feeling that a lot of people join in and they share that appreciation for the
Yeah.
quality of the city.
Yeah. So the one thing for me, I'm staying in Bratislava. I'm only here for a day. I wish I would have done other way around. I would have stayed 2. I think probably need about good 3 days to explore much in Vienna.
At least,
Yeah,
I would
at
say,
least
yeah,
here.
at least,
So
yeah.
do you think that 2 days, 3 days enough for people to come and
2
explore?
days is definitely not enough. I would,
Not
if,
enough,
if,
yeah.
if your time budget allows, I would come to Vienna for, let's say, 7 days,
Yeah.
and then make daily excursions. If you feel that you have extra time, you can always take a bus or a train to go to Bratislava. It's a 1 hour
1 hour.
ride.
I'm staying in Bratislava, so it's
Costs
1
you
hour
a few
train.
euros, and then you go to Bratislava, spend the day, come back in the evening. Bratislava is a lot smaller than
Very
Vienna.
smaller, yes,
It's
yeah.
Very nicely renovated.
Yes.
But it's not Vienna, of course.
It's not Vienna. Exactly that, actually. And I think this is the part I didn't know about Bratislava. They're so small. But I wish I would have come 2 days in Vienna and 1 day in Bratislava. That would have been
Yeah,
different.
well, you can always come back.
Question for you is, what top 5 beers that you would recommend people, which is very traditional in Vienna?
Well, the top one beer, of course, is called Ottakringa.
Okay.
Ottakring is actually one of the districts of Vienna.
Okay.
Okay. And the brewery is located in that district. And
Right.
the beer out of the brewery is simply called Ottakringer.
Right.
Okay, that's Ottakringa beer.
Yeah.
That's the most famous Viennese beer. Then there is lots of good Austrian beer, to name a few brands. There's Stiegl from Salzburg.
Yeah.
There is Gösser beer. There's Weitra beer. There's Zweckler beer. So there's a lot
So
of beers.
a
which are
lot of
always
choices for you.
brewed. Austria has a long-standing beer brewery culture,
Yeah.
a culture of brewing beer.
A question on something which is very different, which is very close to my heart. From the mental health perspective, from the emotional well-being, intelligence, stuff like this, what do you think of the quality of life of the people in here? And personally, what do you do to maintain your or improve your mental health and well-being?
Well, I think it's first of all, generally speaking, I think it's a very, very nice city to live in.
Yes.
Okay. And I think what makes the difference is basically you have, on the one hand side, everything that you need. If you need a new passport, if you need a doctor, if you need services, basically, okay?
Public services,
Yeah. And it's a very slow-moving city. It's not a hectical city. It's not London. It's not New York. People don't run after the money. People take their time. The expression of that is, for example, the Vienna coffee house, where you don't go to drink coffee.
Yeah.
You go to the coffee house to waste your time. Okay, you play chess, you make phone calls, you meet people, you chit-chat, and all of a sudden, time flies.
And I think which is great
Vienna.
actually, isn't it? Which is great for your mental health well-being that you talk to people and you know.
So it's the entity of that all basically, and that's what makes Vienna.
Vienna, yes,
Yeah.
So do you? So you've been a tour guide for a very long time, I believe.
About 10 years.
Do you have to do any kind of certification for you to become a tour guide? Actually, would you mind to just tell?
Yeah. It's a license that you have to have, and that license comes after a series of tests that you have to sit, and the tests are basically the final of a 2 years education that you have to undergo. That means you have to sit for various courses.
Yeah.
They want to know that you're talking about the right thing, and you have to take courses in Austrian history and Austrian arts and Austrian this and Austrian that, and then basically you're qualified. You sit for the test, you get your license, like you're a licensed electrician or a licensed nurse or a licensed whatever.
Yeah.
And then you can go out and offer your services.
Is there anything people normally miss when about tourists like myself when they come in to places such a beautiful, which is Vienna? We miss something. They're like, okay, we just only look into the very high level perspective, looked in here, but we don't explore anything specific that people you would recommend they should explore when they are in Vienna.
I think that good things take time.
Yes,
That
I
means
agree with that.
It's very difficult to catch a soul of a city if you come for 48 hours.
Yes.
Okay. What you need to do is go, let's say Airbnb, take your time. Ideal would be a month, and then you wander the streets of Vienna and you see everyday life in Vienna. And all of a sudden you start to understand why I said, for example, this is a slow-moving city. Okay, and people don't run after the money. People have other priorities, and that makes basically the difference. You know, all of a sudden you catch that salt, so to speak. That makes Vienna such a great city.
Yeah. Younger generation, do you think they value the architect, the history, the culture? It's been created? Because
I wouldn't know, but I think what young people appreciate very much here is job opportunities and education.
Yeah.
Don't forget, Vienna is also home to 200,000 students, and most of those students, meanwhile, come from abroad. Because ever since we joined the European Union in 1995, you can study wherever you like, and that attracts more and more people. Initially, those students came from Germany, because actually Germany has a much stricter access to university, and it's the same language. It's very simple to study in Vienna for them. But increasingly now, it's people from other parts of the world that come to Vienna, and very often they stay. Very often they fall in love with the city, and then they stay, and then they contribute, of course, also to the further development of the city.
So I mean, thing is, this city, this whole country is so rich in culture, so rich in history, such an amazing value that when you come in here, you see like we don't see any other part of the world. So in the whole of the Europe, I think Vienna is one of the best places that I come today. So I really appreciate that. Yeah.
Well, I mean, as I said earlier, Vienna is not a big place like Istanbul, Moscow, Paris, London. It's one of those hidden gems. That was also my wording before, and I think that is what makes it so attractive. You know, you have a small place which you need to discover. It, so to speak, doesn't come to you in the form of a ton of guidebooks, and you say go to the Louvre, and then you have seen this and you've seen that, and you can tick it off your bucket list, and you can leave. You need to basically explore it and discover it yourself. And it's one of those small places which give you back so much. When you take your time to do basically an afternoon in the coffee house, or you go to a museum, and then you just sit there and you start to understand how the city ticks. That is what I would say.
I sincerely appreciate that, and thank you so much for doing the tour too. You know, it's been amazing. Learned so much about the city in 2 hours. Your information, the way you talked about it was just phenomenal.
Thanks
and
a
I
lot.
sincerely appreciate that. Thank
Thanks
you so
for coming.
much.
Thank you very much, and bye-bye, everybody.
Thank you.